Hello everyone, I'm Brian. Today I'm reacting to Stop Learning, Start Practicing. So I know in earlier in my YouTube, people were saying to practice. But now I can say in confidence that I have been actually, but not perhaps in a lot of things. I'd say I do practice karma yoga, if I understand it correctly, my actions and thoughts. Jnana yoga, what I am not, and bhakti yoga, devotion to the people. Now I'll say not Raja yoga though, because that's difficult for me. That is very difficult for me. But anyways, let's go ahead and listen to this. I know a lot of people in the comments have told me some time ago to, watching all these videos, it's fantastic and all, but you got to start practicing. So let's see what Dandapani has to say.
So you just need to keep working at it. In terms of more tools, my recommendation is not to get more tools, because one of the big thinking in today's world is to accumulate tools. We accumulate tools and learnings like we collect shoes, right? And a lot of people today want to keep learning because they feel the more I learn, the more I'm growing. Learning doesn't actually equal growing. Unless you put the tools into practice, then you start to grow. Learning itself is very deceiving. You don't grow unless you apply what you learn. So my recommendations, rather than pursue more tools, take the practices that you have and just work on them.
Actually, that is kind of my stance. I like to learn, and that's the reason why I listen to people. I hear them out. I don't necessarily say that I agree with them or that I put into practice, but it's always good to have a lot of information. Of course, some of this information could be wrong, and it could be right, but I don't necessarily discriminate per se unless I know it is wrong, especially if it comes from a biased point of view, or that I've heard other facts that kind of push back against it, or that if it's not quite my experience, but I still listen to it, just because, my experience is not the only experience in the world, weirdly enough. So obviously there are other experiences in the world, so I do listen. And obviously you cannot always practice everything that you learn, but it's always good to have that tool. And this is my how do I say, my way of life, is that accumulation of tools is great, like he's saying, but obviously if all you do is just accumulate tools and never put them to use, it is kind of a waste. But the way I look at it is I like to accumulate a lot of tools, but also put as much of it into use as possible. And the way I do it, you could, how do I translate this from my mind, my mind powers. So whenever I talk to people, I look at all my tools and see what tools apply to the situation. Like that one looks like it, and that one looks like it, this one looks like it, this one kind of looks like it too. So I grab as many tools as possible to throw out there, because everyone's scenario is a little bit different. So the more tools you have, the more helpful information you can give. But at the same time, you could give too much information to people. So you kind of have to learn how to read people, know how kind of people, how well to take information, and then know which information, whether to give them so much information or to just give them about 3 that are pretty good information to give to them. It's kind of tough though.
Right? Just keep doing the same thing. For example, my guru taught me to meditate in 1995, so that's what, 24 years ago? I've been doing the same meditation for 24 years, and I haven't changed it one tiny bit. And now when I teach people meditation, they go like, so do you have a different meditation? Do you have a new one? Something that I can do with my cat, And something I can do while I'm on the bus? You go on Headspace and you can pick, it's like the meditation buffet table, right? You just pick whatever meditation. I think today I feel like this meditation, so I'll do this. Tomorrow I'll meditate on peace and love. And I heard the Dalai Lama last week, so should meditate on compassion.
I mean, I'll say this though, in terms of the meditation buffet, I kind of like that. It's kind of funny, but it's good to have. Everyone's different. I don't believe there's a single meditation that works for everyone. So this is the reason why I also say, listening to many different gurus to find out which one works best for you. Now, Because if there's only one meditation technique that you know, then maybe that won't just work on some people. That person may have to find a different guru with a different type of meditation technique. But of course, but he's right too that if you find one that works for you, stick with it. Why? I mean, you could look around just to see if there's anything better, but once you find something, stick with it. It's kind of hard to know though. It's like you're like, this seems to be working, but could there be one better? This one seems to be working, but could there be one better? You get into that danger spot where you're like, let me keep advancing my technique, trying different techniques to see if maybe this one works better, or this one works better, or this one works better. And you're 20 years down the road and you still haven't you found many of them that works great, but because you think there could be one better out there that you never really stick with one. So there's the danger with that one.
And that's how you eat from the buffet table and you never make progress.
So just keep going.
Just keep going.
And
Pick
by your
one
course,
thing
obviously.
and keep going. And just keep repeating it. Every time you fail, get back up, keep going. Right? Don't take too many things. You'll die of indigestion. Right? Just pick 2 or 3 things and just work on them. And just keep doing. Think narrow and deep. And that's how you should go. Think narrow and deep. Okay? And thank you for learning so well. And if you're 23 now and you keep working hard at it, you have an amazing life in front of you. And that is so well worth doing the work for. It truly is. And if you're going to live up to 96 years old, right, that's another 63 years. What an amazing 63 years that would be, to live a life, a concentrated life, where you can be present in all those experiences in the next 63 years. Isn't that worth striving for? Just do the work.
And I agree with him there. So again, it's not to say that you stick with one, because you could, again, both extremes are pretty bad. You can say, okay, this is the first one I learned, I'm going to stick with this, and it just 30 years down the road, it's still not working. You're like, I need to still stick with it and keep going at it, keep hammering at it, and 63 years later, you still didn't get it because that meditation technique just does not work for you. And then you have the other extreme where you're like, oh, maybe there's one better out there. Maybe there's another one better out there. Maybe there's another one better out there. And 63 years later, you've tried 500 billion different meditation techniques or whatever, and it just doesn't work. I mean, you just keep thinking there's something better out there. There's the extreme dangers there. So hopefully, what's the right answer? I don't know. I guess try a few of them out. And find out, maybe 5, I guess. I don't know. What's the magic number? 10, 20? Try a few of them out, and what works the best, go with it. And then I don't know what the time frame is. If it doesn't work in 10 years, do you go try a different one? Yeah, this is why you have gurus and swamis out there that hopefully can teach you how to do it. Because I am definitely not none of those. I don't meditate, so I mean, I should, but I don't know if I have necessarily a reason to, although I still should, because I don't think there's anything I need to meditate on. But I think there is. I just don't know it. I know there is. There probably is. I just don't know what it is. I probably do know what it is. I'm just avoiding it. Maybe that's the case. Or maybe there's just too much going on in my mind that I don't need to meditate on something. I don't know. I guess this is the answer right here. I do such a good job on the other karmas, the yogas, karma yoga, bhakti yoga, jnana yoga, that meditation is not necessary yet. It's something that I can kind of push off a little bit, I suppose. I don't know if that's the right way to do it or not, because I am able to. I guess I am, in a sense, one with my thoughts and actions. Even though my mind goes random things, it doesn't affect me. I know what I am mostly not. I'm not saying I know exactly what I am, but I know what I'm mostly not. And then, in terms of devotion, yeah, I absolutely love helping people. I really do. It makes me, if I can make someone happy, it makes me happy. It genuinely does. Now, Raja Yoga, my body's just too like little tingly and stuff to be able to focus on that. So, and that's the kind of the reason why, like, I do need to get into it, and I do need to perhaps meditate on certain things, even just basic things, just to get into practice and to start off low and work my way higher to harder things to meditate on. So, for example, to meditate on what I just had to do for today, meditate on, I don't know if meditating on what you're going to have for lunch is really a thing, but it could be something very simple just to get you started, just to get into the habit of things, and then progressing more and more. Now, I don't know if there are probably people out there that says, you don't meditate on your lunch. I think you could. Like if you're indecisive on stuff, it could help you focus. I'm not a guru or swami or anything like that, but it could be like little baby steps to help you go on to deeper things into your life. You can't just jump into the deep end of the pool and hope that you can swim. You start off in the 2-foot pool area and you start practicing there and work your way deeper. Just my opinion and thoughts there. It's up to you what you want to do. But anyways, stop learning, start practicing. I amazingly think I have been practicing ever since that college days for some of the things, and it's gotten progressively better. But Raja Yoga, yeah. Anyways, if you like my content, please consider subscribing, thumbs up, thumbs down, down below. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next vid.